End my own life.
Yeah.
Absolutely I am. I've had serious conversations with both my kids, and I said, when the time comes, if I want to do that, will you support that? Will you support me and be okay with that?
What's their story out there, folks? Pete here from Thairish Times. Hope you're doing well. So the video today, I wasn't going to release it. It's part 2 of the interview I did with Paul Wallace, who has spent 40 years in Thailand. I wasn't going to release it. I decided against it. Interested to hear your thoughts and opinions on it. It's not a long one. It's only about 8 or 9 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. And yeah, so the gist of it is Paul has said he's had a great life in Thailand. He's been very happy. But he says that when the time is right, he is going to end it all. He's going to go out on his own terms. So in this video, he's going to explain why. And yeah, I'm interested to hear what you think about it. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. I've been a little bit slack on the videos lately, but I do have I do have loads more coming. So stay with me here in Thairish Times. Okay, cheers. Let's get straight into it.
Your life now is a lot different than what it was, 10, 20 years ago.
Totally.
You have your friend here now behind the camera, but you said you don't have like a lot of many friends in Bangkok, no?
No, I don't have any really, apart from the guys who work with me. I'd like to say something about that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I know there's a lot of foreigners who are living in Thailand who are kind of retired, they're okay for money, and they've got lots of time on their hands. And so, if you're one of those people and you enjoy writing, I get lots of work. I've got maybe a dozen guys who work with me at the moment, and you can work as much or as little as you want. It's a good way to make some extra money. So yeah, I work from home, and yeah, I play snooker with my friend and one of my writers once a week, twice a week. But other than that, I don't go anywhere and I don't meet anybody, and I'm really good with that.
You mentioned something to me a couple of months ago. You said that, you're 60, are you 68, 69?
68, yeah.
68.
Coming up to 69.
If you get really sick,
yeah,
you're going to basically take steps to
end my own life.
Yeah.
Absolutely I am, yes. I'd like to be lucky, and I'd like to go to bed one night and not wake up the next day, just die in your sleep. But a few years ago, you've seen where I work on my porch, yeah? I had to spend a whole year listening to the woman, the neighbour's old father, grunting and groaning all day long, waiting for his end. And it was awful. You'd hear him all day long. Oh, and the daughter would come running in, there's anything I can get for you, And I think he wiped out their savings and all that, and he eventually died after a lot of pain and a long time. That'll never happen to me. That will never happen to me. I've had serious conversations with both my kids, and I said, when the time comes, if I want to do that, will you support that? Will you support me and be okay with that? And they've said, yeah.
They support it?
Yeah.
Okay, you don't have to go into too much details, but how are you going to do it if you're going to do it?
There's 2 ways you can do it, and either way is painless. I'll just leave it at that. Either way is painless. But you see, another thing that comes into play here is life after death. Now there are 3 groups of people when you talk about life after death. There's group 1, which is probably the largest group, where people are atheists. They don't believe in God, they don't believe in a higher power. You're here until you're not, and that's it, it's all over with. You just decay and go back into dust, Then there's those who believe that there's life after death. And then there's those who know there's life after death. And I'm one of the ones who know. And it's such a wonderful feeling to know that, it's not the end, it's just the transition. I don't know what's on the other side, but I know it's okay. And yeah, part of me is looking forward to it.
Why?
because it's the ultimate adventure, isn't it? It's like jumping off the abyss where you can't see the deep hole you're going into. You have no idea. I have no idea what's on the other side. Well, I do have an idea, but it's so nice to know that there's life after death. And the only way you can know is to have an out-of-body experience or a near-death experience. I'm sure that some of your viewers will have had an OBE or an NDE.
Give us, what happened to you? Like, what was your...
The first one, I came off a motorcycle on the island of Crete. And as soon as I slammed into the road, all of a sudden I'm looking at myself. I'm looking at the bike, I can hear the back wheel, I can hear the engine, I can see the smoke, and I'm like, wow, that's me. I'm outside. And then I was back. And the pain was, your broken shoulder and all that. The second time it happened, it was more drug related, and it was about 3 years later. But basically, I'd gone without sleep and I'd gone without eating for quite a long time. And you know, have you ever done that when you go without sleep? You kind of reach this heightened level of consciousness, don't you? And you see things moving out the side of your view. You know, I'd reached that point, and I sat down. I rolled this big joint of Nepalese hash, and I smoked the whole thing, and I sat there, and there was a picture on the wall, just a portrait of some woman, and I just was staring at it, and the next thing I know, up I come, and I look down, and I'm like that on the chair, wide-eyed, and I went, wow, I've done it again. Only this time I went around, I went outside, I flew around, I saw things, and I thought to myself, yes, this is it. I now know, and I've tried so many times since then to get it to happen, and it hasn't. But I know, it's enough to know.
Well, I hope you have many years left. That's all I'm going to say about, you know.
Yeah, me too.
Many years left.
Me too, but I'm good with it when the time comes. I'm really good with it because I've had a great life, you know. I've never been happier.
So basically, you don't want to be a burden on your family.
Absolutely not. Yeah, absolutely not. And I won't be. If I've got some terminal thing, then I'll pick my moment and I'll go out when I want to go out on my terms. Yeah, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's against the law in most countries, suicide. But I think, you know, end of life, we all have that right. And, you know, obviously it needs to be in certain situations. You know, if you've got a terminal illness and there's no hope, why suffer? So yeah, I would do that. Absolutely, I would. I will, if it comes to it. Yeah, if it comes to it.
Okay, well, we'll leave it there. Like I said, hopefully you got many more years left. It's been a pleasure doing these interviews with you. I've got a plane to catch.
Right.
I've got to go to the airport and back to Ireland, but we'll do it again, Paul.
Great to see you, Pete. Great to see you, and good luck when you get back there.
Thanks,
I hope you don't freeze to death in that awful European winter.
Oh, don't stop. Don't get me started. All right, thanks very much, everybody. Cheers. Take it easy.